So Grandpa Frank is at it again, telling stories. He was interviewed at the Arnold Classic by some website, I guess, Muscle something. I'll figure it out later. And the guy's talking to him, and Frank says at the beginning, they're like, "Oh, how'd you get into martial arts?" And he says, "Oh, it's interesting. I was actually born with my feet backwards, and I was put in a vice to turn them around. And I was with my friend, and they were throwing rocks." It's like, wait a second, I know this from somewhere. Yes, Frank. He's confused himself with Van Damme, playing all different roles. He had posted that action figure of Van Damme from Street Fighter, but now Frank seems to think that he's Forrest Gump, which is a little closer. They're both retarded. So, Frank, just stop taking stuff from TV. It's like, I know that you haven't lived an interesting life, but we've all seen movies before. So they talk about random bullshit. Frank says, within 2 seconds of each other, "I'm self-taught." 2 seconds later, "So yeah, I went around to every school and trained in their dojos." Well, one, Frank, it's dojo, same singular and plural. And two, you can't be self-taught if you said that you had all these instructors. Seriously. Idiot. Just can't stop lying, no matter what. Then, 5 minutes and 20 seconds into it, he's talking about the Kumite, and he's like, "Oh, they said it never happened, but now the footage is on YouTube." No, it's not. That's footage of Philippe Caturay. We've explained that over and over again. I think now it's time for us to contact his son again so he can sue you like he was going to do last time. Remember that? So, yeah, Sebastian, Frank's claiming that's him, so, even though he actually claims that that footage was of him, but then stolen by Caturay, and then, but no, it was stolen by Bujinkan people who were working for Caturay, and then it was stolen from his house, and then the police covered it up because the police were working for the Bujinkan and Black Belt Magazine and the Emperor of Japan. Okay, so that's what happened. So the footage on YouTube of Philippe Caturay actually is Frank Dux. So yeah, okay. So then he goes on and on talking about all the bullshit. Oh, did you have to do the dim mak to get into the thing? And he's like, "Yeah, I broke the bottom brick." Well, yeah, that's physics. That's how it works. The bottom brick breaks. We've explained that a million times. And then he goes on again, and he says, "Oh, but usually I would order skulls from Pakistan, and, I would take the skull, and I'd throw the skull up in the air, and I'd punch it, and I'd break it into a million pieces, and then I'd throw the jawbone to my opponent." Well, one fuckstick. You see, the jawbone is attached to the skull, right? But that's because of muscles and tendons and all sorts of stuff. When there's no muscles and tendons, the jawbone just falls off the skull. So if you picked up a skull and threw it into the air, there would be no jawbone attached to it. Then you said you hit it and broke it into a million pieces. Not scientifically possible. The amount of weight that it takes to break a skull is 500 kilograms. So, obviously, you're not punching with that strength, no matter what you're saying here. Let me actually, yeah, and this is coming from Tobias Matai. He is a neurosurgeon, and he says it would be impossible for a man to break a skull with his hands, even if 90% of his body weight was his bicep muscles. Like, do you think that no one understands this? Maybe you picked up a sugar skull that you got in Mexico because you're there all the time, to match your sugar glass that you used in France. But, yeah, also, Cynthia Bear, a biomedical engineer at the University of Southern California, also says it is physically impossible for you to explode a skull with your hands, And why do I have all these people talking about how you can break skulls with your hands and how it's not possible? Oh, because they're referencing Game of Thrones. So once again, Frank thinks that he's in another fucking TV show. Idiot. Yeah. Then he goes on, blah, 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 blah. Oh, and then I was banned from betting on the UFC. Well, one, where were you betting? Because if you were betting outside of Las Vegas, that's illegal. Two, who the hell were you banned by? I think he was, and then three, we know that the guy who created UFC doesn't know the difference between Frank Dux and chicken salad sandwich, or Frank Duck sandwich, whatever. Also, those Pakistan skulls. How the fuck are you ordering skulls through the mail? I think that's illegal. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. I don't know what the hell was going on in Pakistan at the time. I'm sure that there was all sorts of random crap in a country like Pakistan, so you might have committed a war crime or a crime against humanity or something. I don't know. I gotta look into that. Because ordering skulls through the mail, to some random fuckhead, I don't think that happens. It just doesn't sound right to me. But anyway, yeah. Oh, I predicted the winner of the UFC fights to the second. And then they said, stop betting. Fuck you, retard. And then he says to the guy, oh, if I was in the UFC, I'd be the world champion. Every single person I know who wanted to kick your ass, you've run away from. So fuck you, Frank. The end. There you go. That's for you.